In this video, we'll talk about the science of yoga and its health benefits. People have been practicing yoga for thousands of years. While the original purpose was to elevate to a greater spiritual level, it became clear that yoga benefits the person as a whole. Modern scientific research has shown tremendous overall health benefits of a yoga lifestyle. Yes, yoga does improve the body, but surprising scientific research has shown that it changes the brain as well. It's about becoming a better version of yourself and getting in touch with the real, authentic you as the brain becomes more uncluttered. It keeps us focused on the present. While yoga begins on the mat, it extends to our entire day as greater compassion and awareness becomes a part of our life. Yoga won't provide untold riches, although the physical benefits are remarkable. The world is already filled with abundance, much of which we ignore. The real beauty of yoga is that it grounds us to the present, connecting us to the abundance that is within our grasp. A better, more fulfilled life is within our reach when we let go and simply accept what is there. Each yoga pose, which usually involves stretches, has its own purpose and benefit. The practitioner becomes aware of tension and learns to release it. Yoga poses are very specific, and perfection comes with practice, but it is not the ultimate goal. Yoga involves a lot of stretching, but more importantly, it creates balance by increasing flexibility and strength. Whatever type of yoga you practice, your body and mind simply improve. Yoga is extremely diverse and individual, which makes it important to work at your own level of comfort. Please don't use the person next to you in class as a guide or even the teacher. Work the poses in the best way for you. This isn't a speed contest and you have nothing to prove. Yoga is a lifetime commitment, not a competition. Even if you're not used to exercising, you can practice yoga. You may not be as flexible as the next person, but you'll get there. Yoga is always a work in progress and never a competition. While it is a physical practice, yoga will inevitably touch on your spiritual side. It unifies mind and body to become one. Research conducted throughout the 20th century has found a myriad of physical benefits to practicing yoga. Relief from stress. Our lives are filled with daily stressors, and we know that stress can cause tremendous damage to the body and mind. The boss wants to talk, your spouse is upset, the mortgage is overdue, and the kids, they want the keys to the car. Just another typical day. Holding yoga poses, stretching muscles, being focused on the present, and breathing deeply and slowly helps us achieve a state of greater relaxation and harmony. We are able to consciously choose our response to stress instead of being at its mercy. Remaining calm under difficult circumstances is a choice, and yoga can provide the tools. Yoga and pain relief. Studies have proven that practicing yoga can provide tremendous relief for people suffering from multiple sclerosis, arthritis, and other chronic conditions. We'll discuss its amazing effect on the autoimmune system and cardio system at greater length in other chapters. Yoga and breathing. Yoga combines physical movements with breathing. Slower, deeper breathing can alleviate stress. Yoga and flexibility. Yoga involves a lot of stretching, which strengthens muscles. Since yoga impacts the entire body, flexibility and elasticity happens from head to toe. It also loosens tight, tense muscles and helps us remain more relaxed. Yoga and weight management. Yoga does not burn up as many calories as some other exercise regimes. However, it does increase your body awareness. People who practice yoga become more aware of what they eat and the effect such food has upon their health. This usually leads to better, healthier eating habits and a natural loss of unwanted weight. Yoga and circulation. If your blood isn't supplying your body and brain properly with oxygen, your health will suffer. You need proper circulation for the brain to function, energy, and the growth of cells. Sluggish circulation can cause nerve and tissue damage, blood clots, dizziness, among other problems. The thorough stretching in most yoga poses will improve circulation. The camel pose described in this video is an excellent way to improve circulation. Yoga and cardio health. For patients who have experienced heart surgery, depression and anxiety can be a natural result. Yoga can be helpful in managing this type of post-operative stress. It can also lower blood pressure, serving as a preventive heart-healthy measure. The specific heart benefits will be discussed later on. There's no hurry. Take your time. These benefits will take time to achieve. Yoga is not a 2-week miracle program, so as you begin with your yoga sessions, allow sufficient time for the results to manifest themselves. You should see a huge difference in approximately 2 months. Whatever your reason for practicing yoga, you should notice an improvement in all aspects of your being. In this video, we'll learn about yoga history. Yoga's become quite trendy these days as practitioners in their yoga pants and mat head toward the popular yoga studios to attend their weekly yoga session. What many of these fashionable yogis probably are unaware of is the long history of yoga, dating back to ancient times in India and its spiritual roots. Most of what we think of as yoga only dates back 150 years. While people today practice yoga for their health, its roots are entwined in rich spiritualism that took a lifetime to master. For ancient yogis, yoga was a way of life. Mention of yoga first appeared around 1500 BC in Hindu literature. The first writings in the traditional Sanskrit, the term yoga, which means yoke, frequently refers to a dying warrior rising to heaven and reaching a higher power. The original concept of yoga was clearly to elevate those who deserved it to a higher level, to connect the individual to the universe as a whole. For ancient Buddhists, yoga wasn't even a specific discipline. It grew out of the desire to attain spiritual goals and controlling both the mind and the body to achieve this. These spiritual leaders recognized that man is fallible, but always capable of improvement by changing dysfunctional thinking. They recognized the power of the mind to bring about inner peace and alleviate suffering by broadening individual consciousness and becoming open to new ideas. They already understood the basics of the mind-body connection. Yoga, including meditation, was and still is a quest for knowledge. Ancient practitioners thought correctly, as it turns out, that knowledge would lead to a higher level of consciousness and existence. Old writings describe several levels of being, with increasing knowledge bringing the practitioner to a next higher level. It was viewed as a process for which many encompassed a lifetime of learning. Yoga, the physical part of gaining enlightenment, was to prepare the way to meditation, which was spiritual in nature. The physical side of yoga began to emerge around 500 AD. By the 3rd century, yoga was an accepted Buddhist practice involving a spiritual quest through meditation. This is the classical period where the writings of Vyasa introduced the all-important Yoga Sutras, which lists yoga as a precondition for a higher existence. For several centuries, the practice of yoga became an accepted practice to attain important personal values, although it was still far from today's set of poses. More meditative, it was intended to help transcend human suffering and rise above it. It was also used to broaden or deepen consciousness as a path to personal enlightenment. Yoga was seen as a means to overcome destiny and regain control of the self. The beginning of training and controlling the mind is clearly emerging. Up to the 15th century, while the West was in a state of constant strife and war, Eastern Buddhism focused on peace of mind. The difference between a Western and Eastern mind is becoming more noticeable. By this time, the emphasis of yoga shifts from transcending pain to reaching a higher plane of existence. Man himself is to become a deity. By the 8th century, Hatha Yoga, a mix of poses and meditation, came into practice. It's the beginning of modern yoga as we know it today. Modern yoga. Yoga, the old spiritual quest of Buddhism, didn't reach the West until the 19th century. This coincided with an interest in Indian culture as a whole due to the burgeoning spice trade. Western culture became intrigued by the writings of Swami Vivekananda, a monk who traveled to Europe and introduced the intelligentsia to Buddhist spiritual writings, especially the 4th century Yoga Sutras, which involved clearing the mind of unwanted thoughts and learning to focus on one thing. Yoga, as we know it today, became popular in the U.S. in the 1940s when young Americans began to take yoga classes. By the 1980s, the known health benefits of yoga increased its popularity, although the practice was seen as more physical than spiritual by the majority of the practitioners. By the 21st century, the devotees of American yoga have increased from 4 million at the turn of the century to 20 million by 2011. This increase in popularity is mainly due to the increased scientific studies of the numerous benefits of yoga, especially the alleviation of stress. Whether spiritual or not, people want to increase their health. Many people, however, still seek both mental and physical elevation. Yoga offers both. While mastering the physical aspects of yoga is important, it's equally crucial not to lose sight of the spiritual benefits. Yoga is more than posting adorable selfies on Instagram. Thousands of years ago, yoga was a preparation for the spiritual enlightenment of meditation. It was intended to prepare and relax the body for meditative practice. It's important not to lose sight of that. To achieve your spiritual side, keep in mind the 7 spiritual laws of yoga. 1. You have unlimited potential. The purpose of yoga is to reach a high level of consciousness. 2. The universe is filled with abundance. To receive, learn to give. 3. Understand the universal law of cause and effect known as karma. Your actions, whether positive or negative, will be returned in equal measure. 4. Don't resist life's forces. Your desires will manifest themselves when you least resist. 5. Be clear on what your desires and intentions are. 6. Stop struggling and remain open to all opportunities that come your way. 7. Know what your true purpose in life is. Meditation, which will be discussed in the final chapter, will help you achieve the spiritual laws of yoga.